When I had them on the other side,
And that is exactly what she did, and I was told her to do a formal reprimand, that was never done.
So we can't formally reprimand.
No, but it wasn't on record, and it's continued, there's still things like that continue. And I told Stephanie Kosha, I have a video of her telling people that they should go back to where they came from. We were born here, we live here, go back to where you came from, and I'm tired.
We're getting
of
ready
hearing
to start the
that. And that was the
special
last
meeting.
issue. With her details, and I will be happy to post that video if you want. Because that was done in this office, on camera.
Yes. I now call to order this special meeting. Joe, would you lead us in the pledge, please? The pledge.
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem? Ms.
The only one
Adams?
that's missing is Monica.
Mr. Rojas?
Here.
Ms. Gilman?
Sorry for the shakiness. I don't have my gear with me.
Mr. Thornton?
Here.
Madam Mayor?
Here. Can I get approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem? Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Rojas?
Yes.
Mr. Romero? Yes. Mr. Thornton?
Yes.
Okay, in your packets, you have the list of, bills that we assigned payment to.
Yeah, I've already kind of gone through, and most of everything looks okay, I just have a couple of questions. Remind me who Interstate Chemical is?
That's where we get the chlorine for the.
Oh, that's right, okay.
That was that reminder, so they had put the last bottle.
Right.
So just in case we need to,
Right. And who's, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Who did you say this is?
Interstate Chemical Company.
And they are who?
That's where we get our chlorine for the wells.
And then all of the town of Aguilar's, that those are refunds, to, residents for deposit returns and things like that.
The majority of them are what was withheld from people's payroll and are going to be put back to their accounts.
Okay, and then we decided that we weren't doing that anymore, so that will be the last time.
Yep, and these were from, I believe, the beginning or end of June through, I think, August, September, when you said not to do that anymore, to not withdraw.
Okay.
So those were what was sitting out
so
there.
it has to be August that we brought it to their attention and told them that going forward that they could not do that, that they had to pay on their own bills.
Okay.
So how does this work, is like the 250s, the 1, 2, 4, 4 of them, we've actually paid someone?
No,
It was deducted from the paycheck to apply to the bill, but we're not supposed to do that anymore, so.
Okay, so instead of figuring it by the way the taxes are supposed to be, you a blanket 250?
No, it comes out of our payroll, it's deducted, I mean, so it's,
That's the actual number that they took out of your payroll, then?
Since August. I
I
don't know,
but we
but
haven't, there's no more, yeah.
they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Okay, and then one of them's $450. Is that the same?
It's the same thing, that was the same thing, it was an extra person who had something withdrew from his payroll to go to the utility bill.
That's actually gonna go to their, utility bills.
So none of these are like a petty cash fund, and do we have
No,
one of
sir.
those? Do we carry a petty cash fund?
Yeah, we were, and some of them might have been for when we had no money in the account and we had to get fuel or something, but.
So we do have a petty cash account. Is there a
Well,
much
if
money-
someone's
is there
paying,
much
if
money in
an
there somewhere?
employee is paying for gas with cash, that means we have a petty cash fund.
Yeah.
So what is the balance on that normally, that you keep that
So
balance at?
it's not really petty cash, it's the cash drawer for people making utility payments, and there's 500 in there.
There's 500, and how often do you balance that?
Every day, daily, yeah, every day.
And then, and you have printouts of what's been paid out and everything, so you've got all that tracked? Who is James Luke or Luke James?
That was the water license they were using previously, but when you and I get those, remember, we only paid a partial.
Okay.
So I believe this should be his final payment.
Okay.
Some of these are almost, cleared out
Right,
on the little ones.
right. Who's Tiffany McDaniel?
That is the water attorney. She did research work for him, and that is that's separate from Jerry McDaniel's account.
So she's like an assistant to
She
McDaniel?
is,
Okay. What do they call it? What's below a lawyer, what did a degree for, what is that called? Paralegal, thank you.
that word, yes.
Yes, that word. Okay, and then Van Diesel Supply Company, refresh me on that.
That's where we would have gotten the mosquito spray.
Yeah,
from.
right, the mosquito spray.
Mhm.
I think we still have a balance on that, correct?
Yes, I think
Because
it's
it
like,
was like a large amount, so.
And then do we have any spray left over? Because I know it wasn't sprayed all the times that we were told
We
it
should.
was sprayed.
Yeah.
So, well, does the stuff last?
I don't know.
It doesn't. go
I'm
bad?
not sure, and I wanna say there was, I wanna say maybe 4 or 5 gallons purchased, but we maybe need to look and see if they expired, try to send them back and not,
I would, yeah, I would
use them
definitely
for
check
next
into
year if
that, or
they're
have
good.
Rich check into that, look at the supply and see, you know, 'cause sometimes chemicals, you know, like gas, you know, it starts getting, you know, store it and get old, you know.
Aguilar Mercantile, would that be for gas?
Yes. And I've never, entered like anything used with the debit card, so Sarah and me going forward decided for now at least to enter anything with a debit card in accounts payable, so it shows up.
City of Walsenburg, is that natural gas?
Yep.
And what's the balance on that? Is this like a minimum payment, or?
No, this was, I wanna say.
August.
August and September, and then we still have October due, I believe. So it's 2 bills, one for like 1,100 and one for 900, but I wanna say either August and September or,
And that's for the gas
July and
usage
August.
by town hall and
Yeah.
library and all
the
that.
gas we buy for
Okay.
natural gas.
But that pays up those 2 months?
Diamond T, what did we decide on that as far, I mean, I can see what you guys paid him. But I still have issue with this as the contract is not for Diamond T, it's for Ken Torres.
I talked to Ken about that, and being that he was on contract with the town, he didn't have a town vehicle to speak of, so he's using the vehicle through, his vehicle through Diamond T, so that way he will have liability on his vehicle and anything else that, so he's covered, and that is why he uses the Diamond T.
Okay, but that still doesn't cover why we have a contract with Ken Torres. If he wants to be paid Diamond T, then a new contract needs to be written up.
And that contract with Ken Torres
I
does
will
not
tell
say,
him that.
contract with Ken Torres does not say anything even close to that. He was hired by contract as a, grant writer, and now all of a sudden he's a building inspector, code enforcement, he's everything. And the payments to him, and this is really misleading to the council, and I'll get to that a little bit later, but now's a good time. This doesn't explain anything to us. You have codes on here, C, E, AP, but we don't get, say, a invoice, we don't get anything that tells all these questions she's asking. I've probably got a lot of the same ones I'm going to ask about when she's done. But this isn't proper. We don't know how much is in the bank. This is only a third of a report that we should have to make a decision. There's not enough here to make a decision on paying anything, because according to all these, none of these have been paid, right? Okay, did you receive your check last pay period? It's on here. Okay, so then, if they not, they have been paid, some of them.
Payroll.
Well, you know what, excluded payroll from it, it says on this paper it hasn't been paid. I know you got your paycheck. So, that brings my question to, what else is on here that's already been paid?
No, probably, I mean, I think there's a couple of things that are auto-draft, like a baby and stuff, right?
Colorado Department, CBI has been paid,
$6.
Colorado Department of Revenue,
And my list does have those ones marked off. I was rushing to get them out to you guys, but I can make everybody a copy if you want to see what has.
And then here we go again. This was brought up, we put it over till today, and you know what, we've all got different things to do than come here. We weren't prepared last time, we're not prepared this time. There's nothing on here, nothing, that says how much money we have in the account. There's not a statement anywhere that explains any of this. I don't know what C, E, or AP means on your types, and there's no explanation of everything, and we're gonna have to go line by line basically to figure this out, because we don't have the information. We should have all that information, so this is something. We need to get a better form of informing us, because if I go through a checkbook, pay my bills, one of the first things I wanna know before I start paying bills is how much money do I have? It's not here. And then the next thing, if I'm gonna have to break it down into partial payments, nothing on here tells me what is partial payment, what's a full payment. I was gonna bring up this, Diamond T thing for the reason of, and I was gonna bring this contract tonight for some reason, and I thought, well, no, this isn't gonna come up. None of this of what you said is on that contract, so who made that decision? How is he getting paid separate on a vehicle when it's not in his contract? No answer? I mean, how are we responsible for all this money? $2,500, what has the man done in the last 2 weeks? For 2,200 and,
Well, I think some of those invoices are older that we haven't paid.
see, and we don't know that. Last thing I heard about Diamond T is we bounced some checks to him, and the last mayor had to call his bank and, blame the town for not being able to pay him. Is that rumor true?
I have no idea. I wasn't
Sarah?
on the council at the time, so I have no idea what you guys did before.
Sarah?
I know he had asked if the previous mayor could call his bank and let him know, or write a letter, I believe it was, to his bank, or his insurance or something.
If I was running a company, I'd fire everyone involved in this, because this rumor came from Ken Torres himself. That's how come I feel confident in saying that. We're
Well, I
not,
just said that was what I knew.
I know, we're
don't
not,
know.
we're not running this as a business. We're not getting the information. Other people are making decisions for the board, and the way this is set up, we're set up as a mayor and 6 council people, and actually the council people have more power than the mayor. I've asked, Bob's asked for information just to where we can understand it. So how are we gonna get to the point that we get the information we need? We can't make a decision off this tonight. Not anything that I could see. All I've got is a list, some names, some numbers. No explanation.
Is there, and this may be a software limitation, you know, being on the.
Well, software limitation, how we get around
Well,
this? You
yeah,
can't.
hang on, let me finish. Is there a way to run this report that shows the category of the expense that's associated with it?
There is another report, and I gave it to you at the very first board meeting, and nobody understood it. So I mean, that one will show where everything is listed, but it doesn't have the amount, it breaks up everything. So if I say I take San Isabel and I break it up to 7 accounts, 7 different GL things, it doesn't show the whole bill, it shows what part went into what GL account. So I mean, I don't know what more you want. Like I said, I did mark off what has already gone through, because some of the stuff is already automatically taken out. I do have all the invoices if anybody wants to see something that's on here, but I mean, I don't know what more you guys want from me. And that's the
I
thing,
feel
Mr.
like everyone's
George,
pissing on our
the
lady telling
financial
us it's
committee
raining.
comes in
I
here,
think,
that is exactly what they do. I give them the bank balance, and then they figure out what they want to pay, and they tell me. So, I mean,
I think that
I
going
don't
forward,
know.
Angela, Monica, and and the girls have wasted our time coming and breaking down the bills and, you know, trying to pay a little here, trying to pay a little there, because it's not what apparently,
2 issues. Now, you just brought them all both up.
so
You,
I'm
Angela,
gonna
and
say
Monica.
either
You,
the,
Angela, and Monica. That's
excuse
the
me, I was
sunshine law.
talking, thank you.
He wasn't done.
I am gonna say that if the board wants to vote on this tonight, we can vote on it, or you can vote on it, and if not, then I assume we can just adjourn the meeting and figure out how we're going to do this.
Okay, may I speak now?
Go ahead.
There's 2 violations here. One, sunshine law that you just brought up. You, Monica, and Angela have went over this. 3 of us can't be.
No, there's only been 2 of us here at a time.
And you've
Either
seen
me and
it.
Monica, or her and Monica.
That's what she just said.
She wasn't able to come, so Monica came on Friday. We were supposed to do it Saturday morning. It's always been just 2 board
Either
members.
me and her, me and Monica, or Monica and her.
That's what I meant by the 3 of us, Vernon. I didn't say that all 3, so we're not in violation of the sunshine law. It's been 2 people at a time.
It's hard to tell what's going on here because I know there's telephone votes that are definitely against the sunshine law. And I don't know what to do, I'm not trusting this administration any more than the last right now. There's nothing here that seems to add up, and whenever I start questioning, look at everyone's face, it's like, oh, he's talking again. Well, it's.
No, it's a good point, but how do we manage it already? Cause I mean, you're talking about, okay, then having to make extra, 7 copies of each invoice that was paid to include in the packets on top of everything else that they're doing, if the software won't run the reports that we need it to. And I mean, we're still trying to figure out, we're waiting to get a little bit more of the audits done until we get a little bit money to fully transition into a new software that handles the bookkeeping and also a new software that can handle the water and gas billing. But until then, we do have some limitations. So I mean, I'm open to ideas. I mean, how do you think, you know, we can do this? Because I mean, you're talking 2 pages of bills here. And I mean, as the financial committee, didn't you somewhat put your trust into us that we were going to try to,
You know what, I put my trust into you, you know, because what we're sitting at right now is 4 people, we're on the old administration. And as I question things, it's coming up that we're being said a bunch of whatever. There's gotta be some kind of training, there's gotta be something that makes us understand this. Do you balance your checking account without knowing how much you're starting with, or pay bills without knowing that?
well, that's true. I mean, that's one thing that
One
can
thing.
definitely be, you know, when you guys hand us this report, show us what the bank balance is, right on there with the bank, yeah, but write it on each of our copies, what the starting balance was, and anything that's still outstanding that hasn't cleared, and then what the balance would be after after all these payments.
So I have that, do you want me to read it out loud?
Sure.
Or, so the beginning balance as of today was $41,150.41.
Okay,
All outstanding checks from the last 2 times that we've done bills, I believe, which has not cleared the bank, is $4,513.59.
On top of this 34,661,
Everything on here that has not gone through, and if I can go make a copy, because I did mark off in case there were questions. Everything on here that is gonna be paid, because some of these have already come out for payroll. The things that we use with the debit card. The amount on this sheet should be $24,775.06.
okay, so, I'm sorry, repeat that, 24,775.06.
$775.06. And then that leaves the amount in the account as of today, that doesn't include anything that we have, you know, deposits from online credit cards, Sarah's deposits, whatever. Right now, there should be $11,861.76 in the bank.
say that number again, please.
$11,861.76.
Yeah, that's what I just got.
What we do is they give us the balance, the bank balance when we first come in. So we write it down, remove $5,000, correct, Angela?
Yeah, we felt that we needed to at least keep a $5,000 cushion in the account for emergencies or unexpected
And then
bills.
we deduct as we go, and so then Angela, I'm reading the bills, and she's deducting as we go. And then we still leave a few, if we have, we'll leave a couple of $1,000 still left in the account, just for emergencies.
And so like, you know, little bills and people that have been waiting a long time, you know, since we're in catch-up mode, you know, if we see a bill for $120, we just pay it in full. And we ask, as we're going through, we ask these questions. I mean, do you want us to start recording these sessions so you guys can, you know, see and hear them?
I'm just thinking that we should have an understanding of what's going on. Some of these are self-explanatory. Deep Rock Water, I understand that, $33.
That
I
has
don't
been
know.
canceled too, Vernon.
It's canceled.
Well, yeah.
Well, and I don't understand Ringo's for 90
Oh,
something
that
dollars.
also has been, I've looked at the invoices, and that was cases of water that they were buying.
But we're buying it from Deep Rock Water.
No, that's for the office. And then there was cases of water for the, I don't know how long it had been there, you know, the account, because I hadn't seen one, had you?
The account's at $118.
No, I'm saying I hadn't seen a bill for Ringo's in the last couple of months that we've done the bills.
It's right here.
And then, Vernon, listen, when they gave me the bill, it was all water, and I said, this starts today.
So, yeah,
If
why
we
would,
have to pay for our water, so do they.
why,
In the office, they pay for their own. And if they wanna go get cases of water, then pay for it out of your pocket, cause the town of Aguilar will no longer provide water for the employees.
so you were buying cases of water for what, utility workers
Yes.
to take
Utility
out with
workers were
them?
Buying cases, I guess, to keep in the shop. And there wasn't a bill seen because we didn't get a bill for June, July, August, I believe, from Ringo's. And then we did get one in September, but I had to get a hold of them to get all of the June, July, and August bills. And I don't know what happened there, but we didn't get them. I think they had their own bookkeeping issues.
I'm just trying to think of ways that, you know, we can fill you guys in without, you know, sucking up another 50 hours of my time every month.
And, you know what, and I think you really put too much time in on a lot of committees. You're really supposed to be here as a council person. And, you know, I don't want to see you gone because of all of the extra hours that you really can't handle. You've got your own life, you got your own business. But things on here like these AP and PR, what are those initials stand for?
AP is for accounts payable, but what the type is, C, E, what is that?
C is for check, E is electronic.
Okay.
So anything that goes with the debit or credit card would be under the E for electronic payroll because I submit it electronically.
Right,
So that's what those are.
and then the other ones are, you just the physical checks that you pay.
Yeah.
Can't you come up with a list of codes, because I know that in, you know, in any business, especially like a contractor, electrical has one code, plumbing has a code. Couldn't you come up with a set of codes like that that we could understand?
There should be on the
It's good,
general
it's good.
ledger, cause she is using account numbers to enter, these things, but again, can the system print that report with those codes, with the balance sheet and chart of account codes?
I mean,
I
file your
Googled
taxes
that,
at the end of the year,
but I
your
do
code
have
might
some
go through as
earlier
separate issues, or.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and that's just it, you know, things like QuickBooks, you can use codes or not use codes, but it all comes down to your chart of accounts. And everything that's either on your balance sheet or your profit and loss is on your chart of accounts. And a lot of companies do choose to use account numbers to assign to that. And this town does as well. But again, this system is so antiquated, and the reports you can pull from it are really limited. I mean, it can't even run a profit and loss.
And I really do understand the problems that you're having there, but you have here electrical systems professionals, $500. I have no clue to what that is or why. MGM excavating, I thought we were done with them like a long time ago,
Oh,
so do
no.
we still owe them money?
Oh,
or-
we owe them a lot of money.
See, we don't have none of that, we have no idea, anytime. How can we vote on something to help balance the budget, which is supposed to be our responsibility to know these things? So how do we come in here and vote if we don't know any of it?
Okay, well, that's what we're trying to figure out. What can we do to get you guys the information without overwhelming everybody that's already overwhelmed? How do we get that information to you besides,
This before I get the check.
okay,
Like that.
okay.
Can you add another column to
Can
this?
you print this with our packets when we come to approve bills?
And that one, you will have all the funds on the side.
Okay, yeah. So,
No column to be added to this?
This is what it prints out automatically, you can't add any columns to this unless you turn it into an Excel spreadsheet.
Can we redo this add column to where the next payment, we put the balance here so we know what we're over?
yeah, and that's what,
That
see,
would be
and
one of the
that's,
easiest ways.
accounts payable reports, again, I'm gonna refer back to QuickBooks, cause that's where my knowledge lies, is that when you run an unpaid bills report, it shows you the date of the invoice, the due date, invoice number, what it's for. If there's any balance, like if there's a partial payment, it'll show you the balance that's due. But I just don't think the system can do that,
Okay,
so,
there's 16 pages here, right?
right,
Is this just 1 month?
is,
That's for everything I just gave you.
that, this is for everything that's on this sheet, is what she's saying, so you can see here, she's got her code, or, that's the dates. There's your account number, there's your account number codes, and there's what it's for.
Okay.
So maybe going forward, if you could print
that
both
one.
those things
both.
Well, see,
and put it in the
Well,
packet.
and this really isn't what I'm asking about, because San Isabel, I know that there's other fees to it, so, and this is over September, October, so mid-month they do this. San Isabel's pretty, one of those things that is self-explanatory, and the total would be fine on that. But here we go again, Diamond T, 2275, and I'll bring up the contract again. There's no contract for him that I've seen for him to use his truck. So what did they actually do for $2,200, $2275? Use his own truck and we're paying him that? There's gotta be more to it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Detail, I think that's what I was looking for.
yeah, I mean, but again, how do you do that with, you know, when we've got pages of bills? So then you're asking them to make 7 copies of each invoice that's being paid, when it could be multiple invoices. So, I mean, I understand what you're asking, but there's a kind of a logistics and a system issue.
How do other towns do this then? I mean, we seem to be in the Stone Age, I guess, but other towns.
We are in the Stone Age, and that's part of the
they-
problem.
They publish their bills in the newspaper each month. I mean, and has more information in the newspapers than we get as a council.
Well, I think, you know,
Well, I think that stems from why Angela felt that QuickBooks, we should go to that program, because it would feed us more information.
And I believe we've all agreed to that.
yeah,
didn't we?
yeah, we
Yeah,
did,
but
but
we're
the
not there
problem,
yet.
yeah, see, we're not there yet with audits.
Well, okay, but
Mhm,
from where we're at now till we get to there, what can we do to make
And
this?
that's what I'm telling you the options, I mean, and really the only option to give you what you're looking for is to literally have them make, you know, 8 copies for all of us sitting up here, or, 7 copies of all the invoices that are included on these payments. Like
What if
we-
just
But
one
there's so much of
packet?
this
Ma'am?
is self-explanatory.
This is not an open session,
We have,
no public
we have
comment.
payroll, we have, Ringo's Market, that's pretty explainable. You said it was water, okay, so I can understand that. You don't have to show me anything on that. Town of Aguilar, I didn't know whenever I came in here what that was until it was said that it's, held out on taxes. But if it's held out on taxes, I would think that it'd be electronic instead of C, but, let's see, Sawaya Wholesale, 81 something, 81.90.
I've already addressed that, Vernon, because it was paper towels and, was it trash bags and that? And so I know that they're rather expensive.
But I'm just using this as an example of what we get out of it. Stuff like that, I don't expect, the computer kernel, I don't need to see anything from him. I'm sure he works on computers here. It's $180. But whenever you get to that, there could have been something that said that, interstate chemicals, there could have been something on here that said, chlorine. That would have been understandable. There's,
What if we have them print that packet and this packet as soon as either
The check.
myself or Linda, comes and we go through everything. They print these packets and then it's up to us to come get them and then ask before the meeting, so if you have a question on anything that's on there for approval, then you can talk to one of them and get an explanation, cause I was doing it, I came in early. I'm like, and they can tell you, I went in there and asked them 2, 3 times, they're like, who's this, and what's this for? I'm just wondering if we get the packages earlier, and that way if there's any questions, you could come in and ask them, or ask to see the invoice or something like that, would that help?
Let me think about this one for a second. Would it be against sunshine law if like 5 of us come in and ask questions and then we're getting information that's not heard by the public?
Well, no, cause it'll be discussed at the next meeting for bill approval, so I mean, if you come in individually, I don't see that.
And I would agree to do that for a couple of months, but I don't get paid for this, no one else does.
I think a lot of it, Vernon, is because like their system is not up to date. And like I said, that was one of the reasons Angela had suggested going to QuickBooks. And when she started, she was doing the invoicing as such. And so it went to each department, and the same thing would be with the bills.
And, and I understand that, and I'm trying to figure out something on this, but if you look at it from my point of view, Bob and I 2 years ago have asked for the same thing we're asking for, that I'm asking for now. So how much longer do we have to wait? And I know it's separate, some of the people are different, 2 of them are still here,
Well,
and 4 of them
like,
are still here.
right now, it's not like, I wanna say we paid remainder of June, maybe?
Yeah, the little bit of.
So some of
June,
these
a
are
little
like
bit of
older,
July.
really older bills from June, because we've had very little money in there. And so we're just barely getting to parts of August, I believe. And so we didn't even really touch September and October, other than maybe, Walsenburg.
Walsenburg.
Okay, well, let me go back to, this would help a lot in my mind, because I see this all the time, Diamond T, 2275, and I know I keep going back on that, but it'd be nice to know how much we owe them, because I'm thinking, what, 2,200, then we're saying that Ken Torres worked at $65 an hour, I don't know how many hours that'd be, 4? Yeah,
No, I get it,
50 hours.
and you guys can, definitely tell me if I'm not right in thinking, this, but from what I've seen, I'm anticipating it'll probably take till about the end of the year to pretty much have all the bills caught up.
Yes, that's exactly what, today with Dollar, we were working on the budgets. And that's about what she said too, we should by maybe the first of the year.
And see, and I'm good with paying bills because I pay them, and I pay them for a company too, and it would be nice for the council to understand this, that, the progress we're making. The only way we're gonna see the progress is if we have it in front of us. So it's what, we need to figure this out, and I'm not willing to wait another 2 years.
No, I don't think anybody is.
It's not gonna take that long.
But it is a process. Again, we have to remember, it took 15 years to get this.
This
mess.
wasn't an overnighter.
Right, so, I mean, the fact that we've made, the progress we have, even though people are awfully demanding that we do stuff overnight, it's just not always feasible or possible, as much as I would like that to happen too.
And I'm one of them that, is kind of demanding that we do better. We're not doing very well as a council. We're turning down offers. Myself, I've offered to letter these trucks out here, no cost to the town of Aguilar, utility department.
Did you bring it in front of the board and have us vote on
Well,
it?
yeah, you know what, the night that I brought it in front, tried to bring it in front of the board, I was told that, we've got more important things to do.
I don't remember
Oh,
that.
I do it real well because I was shut down on the thing. There's people here that's volunteering to do things. We can't hardly get anyone in these chairs because of all the arguments and all the fighting. And most of the time we have the police here, and what our problem is is we're just not communicating with the people and getting everyone on the same page with anything. This is like a high school or a grade school kindergarten playground fight.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that, somewhat, because I think I know I've tried to be as transparent as I possibly can. I mean, there are a couple of things I can't divulge,
2 out of 7.
but, you know, from what I've seen from everybody else, I mean, that they're all, everybody's heart seems to be in the same place. It might take a little bit to, you know, enforce the change, to make the changes that we need. But again, you know, I know people wanna see immediate results, and you and I just kind of talked about that, some things that we'll put on the agenda for the next regular meeting.
And I'll get off of this for now, but I will bring it up at the next meeting, but, you know, everyone's will have an idea of what's coming.
Right.
So I'll leave it with this. We need to get more information, at least the amount of money that we have, and it would be nice to know what the total bill is.
Yeah, I mean,
of
is
the
there
organization.
an accounts payable report that shows the balance on the accounts?
No, I mean, every time you enter an invoice, you put how much it is, so what I'm doing is on the ones that are only making partial payments in, I have to go in there, put the partial payment, process it, and then go in and recreate the invoice again, but now I'm having to put -2, -3 because it's the same invoice number. And then
That's ridiculous.
put the balance,
Yeah.
and then when
See,
you guys decide what you're
again-
gonna pay, I have to go in, change the amount, print it, and then re-enter it again.
Again, the system
Is this
upgrade.
possible? Can we just maybe get on a separate paper, a list of, who we owe money to and how much we owe them?
I mean, I was here till 9:30 on Friday for them to go through and give me a handwritten
But
list
you're on
of
payroll.
what they're allowing me to pay. And then it took me yesterday from lunch till 4:30 and this morning from 8 o'clock until you got your phone call at noon
But we
to
pay
go
for
in
your
and pick the
services.
ones that I needed to pay, adjust them, fix them. So it's not like I can just go in and click what I want and print out things. It took me a full day.
That goes
To
back
get it
to
ready.
what you've been trying to say, or you've said about how old or the system is, or the programs that
Now,
they
the
use.
thing is too, it's like, okay, you know, if the board's asking you guys to do this, then you need to be compensated. Are you getting paid overtime for the extra hours above
Oh,
40?
yes, every time I stay
Okay.
late, I put my hours, I take my, I hardly ever take the lunch, but I'm still working till 4:30 and only getting paid 8
Now,
hours.
and we went through that on lunch,
Yeah.
you have to
You
take
have
your
to take a lunch.
The thing is that you guys don't understand the amount of work this is, and like I said, I have
I understand it with
from
how much
June to
work it
October
is.
still in there, so when you guys give me what I need to pay, get ready for the board, it's taken me like a day to get it ready, it's not like going and print it off, I mean, it's a lot of work, and, I mean, this is just for what's on that sheet there, I mean, you want me to copy this for every board member?
No, see, and I'm not trying to be unreasonable,
Or, I
I'm
mean, if you
asking
guys
for
wanna ask questions now, I have the invoices here, I mean, I don't know why we couldn't, if
See,
there's a
and that's-
question, ask about it.
And that's what I'm, you know, again, on a different system, you can pull, an accounts payable report that shows invoice numbers, balance due, you know, it'll show if there's a partial payment against it and a balance.
Then let me try wording it this way, how many accounts do we have that are in arrears? 10, 15, 20? Just a guess, miss it by 10, I don't care, you know,
I don't know, I mean, that's
I'll
what.
throw out a number 20, that's about reasonable, I would say.
okay, 20.
Yeah.
And how hard would it be to make a one-page report with 20 accounts on it with what we owe, how much, you know, and how much we're paying? And it seems like that would give us the information I'm asking for, along with the amount of money that we have. Because if we got 41,000, are we approving all 34,000 of it now? And part of it's already been paid out that we've already established, so. Yeah, and I know payroll has to be paid, you know, there's gonna have to be some things that are gonna be paid that you're not gonna bring each
Well, like I
time.
said, I mean, the best thing I could come up with is maybe instead of running these reports, is just building a spreadsheet, maybe? And it might take some initial time to start. But to get all of our open vendors and open invoices and the balance is due on it, and instead of running this every week, you update that spreadsheet every week.
So you want me to do double work, because to cut checks, I have to do the bills. I have to do all this to do the checks.
But
And
we
then I
pay
have to
you
do
for it.
another separate report when I'm barely getting this done and staying on top of everything else.
I'm just throwing out ideas, I'm just trying to come to a solution.
And I mean, I am trying to be as transparent and honest and open as I can about everything, anything that I've been asked, I've provided. And I mean, if there's a problem with the current administration, I'd appreciate just to be told that,
We've been
you
telling you.
know? So if you don't want me here as an employee,
No
then
one
I'm
said
getting
that.
tired of the
No one said
accusations,
that.
and I've been
I think-
transparent.
I think we need to get back on the subject of the check registers and,
I'm trying to figure out a way that we could do this because, you know, we pay the employees, we pay them overtime as what I take it now. And this has been a big problem for years. We're trying to fix it. There's going to be extra work on everyone, including the council people. You know, I'm just trying to, I speak loud a lot of times because I have trouble hearing. I'm not yelling at anyone. I'm just trying, and I've had companies and I've had to ask people questions, and I'm not taking none of this personal, and I don't want anyone else to, but if I'm paying you to do a job and there's extra work that needs to be done and I'm paying you to do it, I don't expect arguments back on it. You know, it may take a little bit longer, we're paying overtime obviously, so what's the problem? We've got problems with the town, has to be fixed. But I don't wanna argue with the employees on, well, that's too much for me.
Well, and you
If
know,
it's
we're
too-
doing a lot of
I didn't
extra
ask you a
work, so
question,
maybe we
please,
should
I didn't.
be given
Ma'am,
a raise
okay,
because we're already
stop.
being
Let's go
forced to
back.
do a bunch
Please
of
stop.
extra stuff.
Steph, let's just go back to the check register, please.
Let's go back to what I was saying. I don't like coming up here and doing this every time I come in. And I don't wanna argue with people on what I'm trying to speak to the council about. What I'm asking for is reasonable information, and what we're trying to figure out is how to get this information to us so we can make a reasonable vote. And it's not something that's just coming up tonight for this one meeting. As I said before, me and Bob has asked for this a couple of years ago, and nothing.
I think we've also talked about hiring somebody else and that has a stronger financial background.
And if that's the solution, let's look
And
into
then
it.
maybe part-time at least, to relieve some of the burden off of them, and so we're not paying out, overtime.
Well, if the overtime comes up to where we can put someone part-time in, it would only make sense. I mean, this has to be run like a business. We're behind, we owe people 20 accounts at least, or possibly 20 different accounts. The council doesn't know what we owe to who, and that's information we should have. So there's gotta be a way to figure this out that we get the information without all
Right.
this.
And I think that's probably our best solution, is at least to bring somebody in, maybe just 5-10 hours every week to build out that spreadsheet for us, you
Right.
know?
Then I'll put it on the next agenda. I'll make a motion
Okay.
to accept this.
Okay, I second it.
Wait a minute,
Oh, okay, sorry, go ahead.
I don't see Matt Lucero's name on here. Fireman fund, $75 a month.
Did we pay it?
We didn't get to September or October, that's why we owe them for September and
Okay.
October, but they only got to August.
And I forgot, you guys handed this last thing right before the meeting started from Robert Half. Yeah, I got another nasty gram from Angela at Robert Half, going, again, we need to talk about this balance, and it's like, how many times can I tell you that we'll pay you every 2 weeks, anywhere
Well, I
between
think-
$500 and $1,500, depending on the funds available.
We can put this on the next agenda. I just had her make a copy because I just got it before I got here. And I wanted you all to see this, but I did talk to, Tara Marshall today about this. So she said for me to check with, Jim Ray and see how much of this he's using. And, they have to show proof of product.
Yeah, I mean, she sent
And
a
to see how much-
spreadsheet, I mean, she sent spreadsheets,
Is
but
Jim Ray using it?
I think he used some of it, you know, I mean, again, I have a really big problem with this contract.
I do too, when I think they've already paid like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
97?
they paid 90, well, probably 98 now with a
Like
couple of small
$97,000,
payments that we've
$98,000.
made. And we didn't get a single deliverable, well, this is all public knowledge. I don't know, is it something that we maybe need to talk to the attorney about too? Because there's no way that they even did $90,000 of work. Yes, she built out a bunch of spreadsheets. Yes, she did some work. But, I mean, tops, in my opinion, she maybe did $10,000-15,000 worth of work.
Did you see Christos on the right-hand side, where they have a date? And 3,700, 5,200, 5,200.
Thanks for the support, Frank.
Most contracts I've ever entered into have an option out. Does this contract have that? And would the option out be cheaper than the 5,000 a week we're paying?
Well, I mean, that's already, we already, stopped the contract. We stopped the contract as soon as I got on the board. This is just arrears. So there's one of your 20 accounts that's in arrears. So you can see this goes through 8/2, which to me, that shouldn't even be on there because we canceled that contract before that.
Didn't you do it like in July?
I mean, I got
Well,
on,
they're
I
still
got on.
billing July 16th. The 12th, the 19th, the 26th, and August the 2nd.
They cancel contracts like they table agenda.
So those, I think, could be, we could tell them that those need to be wiped out. I'll have to go back and look at my emails to look at the exact date that, we set that meeting, or if you remember when we did the video conference here. I'll look back in the
No,
emails.
that was you and Monica, or wasn't it you and Monica that did that?
Yeah, me and Monica, and then Sarah, and I think Stephanie was kinda in and
Well-
out too, so.
Someone from Robert Half called on Friday and was quite rude with Stephanie.
Yeah, yeah,
I just told her to, you know,
Wonder what kind of attitude they
I,
have.
I don't know how many times we can tell them that they'll get paid every 2 weeks with what we can afford. I don't know how many different ways I can say that, you know? I don't know, maybe talk to the attorney and see,
I will talk to Jim Ray and then pass this off to the attorney.
I did also get another Cora request on, emails between myself, Crystal Dorsey, and Jim Ray that I will forward to you as well.
Why is she getting
Question,
Cora
Could
requests?
you tell me, when, the newest employees were drug tested, have they been? Both of them? When did that happen?
Well, before they started, it had to be. And the results.
There's no bill, there's no payment on here from the lab that does the testing.
That's probably a pretty recent bill,
It
and
is.
we're trying to get the oldest stuff paid first, unless, I mean, it's absolutely critical. We're going for the oldest stuff first, so I'm not sure that'll be on the next couple rounds of bills.
How much for it?
Okay, so do we need to file another motion, or what do we, where are we at?
Four.
Mr. Thorne first and then.
Roll call.
second
Yeah,
To approve the bill.
did you have any more questions? Well, we've been kind of talking a lot.
How come, Ringen, or whatever his name is,
Richard?
has 2 checks?
I asked about that too, he's got one going to a checking and then the balance going to a savings account, so they're splitting his payroll. Okay, anything else?
we have an IGA with the San Luis County Sheriff Department?
You know, I'm not sure, I know we were trying to get one, but I don't know if we're back on the old one where they only come up for emergency calls or something like that. I am honestly not sure on that. I know we had an old one and we were trying to get a newer one, but that never went through, so.
I noticed that there's two different payments for here.
Was it the E91? Is that
I think the one was just for their call outs for June, July, August in town, and then the little one of 125 is for the board meeting, they have to come to.
They had, their bill is like from June, wasn't it? Cause we've only paid them partial payments.
Yeah.
And I did tell Navarette that we were doing that.
Yeah, and he said he would work with us from what
He did.
I remember you said that your conversation with him, that he knows we're struggling and trying to get caught up, so. He's okay as long as they're getting something, you know, again, it's all about showing good faith on the town's part to these people that we owe. So again, we're just trying to spread around the money as best as we can.
One more question. QuickBooks, is the gal gonna come down and train?
Well, again, and we might even be able to cancel this,
No, we don't wanna cancel something.
well, no, but the thing is we might wanna go to QuickBooks Desktop. The CPA that I just talked to, she does fund accounting, and, she said the desktop is the better way to go for, you know, municipalities. And I think we might even want to bring her on, as a consult, at least a one-time consult. And again, it just really depends, because we haven't done that much work on it, and it's, you know, we've paid now $49 twice now, and I don't wanna continue to spend that money and waste it if we're not gonna be able to utilize or, you know, finalize what we're gonna do for another month or two. And I think that really hinges on, getting the audits done, up to at least 2023, because then we have our opening balances, to enter into the new software, whatever software we choose. We'll have, a much cleaner set of books if we have those balances, and the books and the audits done for 2023.
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Did you have a frog there? Did you have a frog there?
Thanks, Angela, and I'll check with what you said, where you got the hydrants. I also will be bringing up at the next meeting, I'm gonna be bringing that video that was part of it. That needs to stop, because that goes back to the weatherman never being done, to begin with, the other staff member.
Are you gonna pass it on? Or you put a vote?
Right, and that's what I'm saying too, is, well, that other
How you
report that I have.
Good, how are you? Heading back down to
Yeah,
the fire
no,
department
and
now.
that's what that other
All kinds of
report, it
spicy
does
stuff
show
with
the
that, too.
line
Mm.
item.
It's going
what
good.
It's for,
Nice.
but we need
Yeah.
to
It's from
get it,
Nice.
the best thing to do. It's just gonna have to, yeah, it's just gonna have to take the time.
All right, guys, we're gonna walk out.
Thank you very much for having me.
Put our table back.
Shelley, hang on.
I have the video of what happened, and I didn't share it.
trash can or something.
Somewhere around there.
From that seat in there, from that seat in there, Stephanie Fran. You need to go back to where you came from. What was that, Josh? You remember that was just 2 days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it goes back to things like
I was. That's Vern. It's Vern. Paid for by Vern. Paid for by Vern. Oh shit,
If you wanna
Vern.
come on down and just see, we bought a bunch of.
Be safe. Give me a call. Yeah. I'm gonna end this out. All right, everybody. You saw the meeting. Uh-oh, Betty. Maybe. Maybe. Fucking Vern. You're absolutely right. Fucking Vern. What's up, Four Corners? How you doing, brother? It's a walkout. All right, everybody. You have a wonderful evening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you're catching this on the replay, thank you for watching. Don't forget, go sub to Good Citizen Media. If you want to help us out, grab a membership. Memberships are always appreciated. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Stay safe out there. Bye.